Hello, welcome back to Adapting Health. Today we're going around Cod Beck Reservoir in North Yorkshire. So it's about a 2.5 kilometre walk and it's circular, which is great. Love a circular walk here. First up, for parking, there is some accessible parking by the main gate that Google kind of takes you to, but we didn't realise that until we drove past it on the way back, so kind of good to know. But there was also blue badge parking at both the main car parks, although car parking is generally limited, so we got there very early in the morning and I was grateful for that, not only because of the parking but also because it was quite warm. As you saw in the video at the beginning, we did have to pass through a gate, and there is a radar key on the gate, but we didn't quite understand how it worked until later on. However, I can't confirm for the gate you saw us go through, but the one on the way out, the radar key completely doesn't work. The gate is just way beyond able to do what it needs to do. So if you put the radar key in, the gate can just open like a door rather than using the turning space, because I won't fit through with my bike. Obviously I can without the attachment, but that doesn't really help, and it's quite inconvenient to put it back on and dismount and all that. So yeah, unfortunately the gates were accessible at some point, but no longer, at least one of them isn't no longer functioning. So just on the right up that hill, the accessible parking is just up there, so even if you were to park there, as you can, you would still need something. Some people could push it up it, but most people I don't think could, unless you're training real hard. But look at that view, isn't that worth it? Like, couldn't ask for better, to be honest. It was absolutely beautiful and absolutely worth the effort, in my opinion. So I definitely would like to come back to do this walk again, but unfortunately it's a little bit too far from our house to warrant doing frequently. But it's a really nice walk. It's just a calm zen spot. I imagine it does get quite busy in the summer, in the peak points of the day, but that's to be expected with a lot of places. At this point we knew that the walk was only coming to a kind of end, or at least we were halfway through, so we explored the gate, and maybe if we'd had a map we could have explored further, but it looked like it might be accessible. I'm not really sure, so long story short, I don't know, but I would like to explore if I had maybe a bike or something like that, like a proper adaptive mountain bike maybe. I think there's a lot of terrain around this area as well that would be really suitable for an adaptive mountain bike. However, I don't actually have one, so wishful thinking at the moment. Personally, I wouldn't like to do this pushing in a wheelchair, just because the terrain is a little bit uneven. I guess you could do it the front wheel or a free wheel if you wanted, and it is a little bit hilly in parts, or actually quite moderately hilly. So yeah, in my mind, you kind of want some kind of electric attachment or a boost, be it physical or electrical. If you made it this far, here's a little fun story. On the way back, we saw a cyclist and she was stopped in the road, and we were like, oh no, what's happened? And then she just pointed out this little tiny owl that was just parked up, sleeping in a fence, and it was amazing. And made it everyone's day. If you come here with a dog like we did, they can't go in the water, not because it's particularly bad and people do just ignore the rules, but because there's some kind of poisonous algae, and I think that's a similar reason for why people can't go in as well. So yeah, I don't really understand why people let their dogs into this kind of water when there's so many signs about the algae, but people do what people do. This walk, along with the walk to Oakwell Hall the other week, really highlighted me the danger of a hill that you can't get up independently. So this one, I really thought I could get up, and it wasn't until I was going up it I realised I couldn't do it. And then when I realised I couldn't do it, I just started going backwards because the brake wasn't strong enough to hold me. So don't really know what the solution is here, especially if I've got the one hand attached with an active hand. Yeah, it's really difficult to know what to do. So I don't really have a solution again, but it's something to be very, very aware of, because that could have ended really badly. Ending on not such a positive note, but thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next week.